Hey gang, welcome back. It is I, DrBossKey, and today we're going to do something kind of fun and special. So, let me see. How about I hop us on over and we take a look? Buttons. Yay, buttons. Oh, let's hit the replay buffer button too. There we go. So, a little while ago, roughly 2 months on the grand scheme of things, there was a person named Seyriuu. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it. And they posted essentially a post in our shmups that said, "Hey, I want your honest opinion for my game idea." So, hello guys, I'm developing a game with the intention to mix shmups, RPG roles, roguelike progression, and MOBA gameplay. And I want to know if such a thing of interest to avid shmup fans. I will have some. It will have some bullet hell-ish here and there, but most enemies behave like an action RPG where they follow you around, aim and attack. Sim attacks will even be unavoidable on multiplayer, and boy, will even be unavoidable on multiplayer to force some team play and make tanks useful, but they will not be mandatory. Okay, so we'll take a quick look at the trailer. So this is their trailer from 2 months ago. 7 moons. Master unique ships. Boom, the Gladius. Retiarius. With sound. Catapult. Lancer. Try to survive. Surviving now. Surviving again. Ow! Smashed by an asteroid Ascipius. Join other pilots. 4 people. 4. Ooh, that looks kind of fun. Shooting bits. Doing things together. Beams that are being repelled. That's a pretty cool idea, by the way. Quantum target. Is there better resolution for this? How about that? There we go. Brutal. Come on, Reddit. Give me some. There we go. That's better. Much better. Shoot. Fight fiercer bosses. I'm a boss. Asteroid push. Giant shippage with a burning thing. Become unstoppable. Yeah, I want to be unstoppable. I think we just reused some of that gameplay footage. This is a work in progress. It's not released. It doesn't have a release date. But, and this is why we're taking a review. Yeah, explode the big ships. Coming 2025. Yeah, so we got a ways to go. 2025 is yonder year. Eternal Reverie. All right. So the developer reached out to me because I gave him some feedback. I think the general gist of it and from the thread was like, hey, look, build something you really want to play if it makes you happy and it's interesting, even if it's not completely a shmup or in that place of a shmup. Go with your gut here. If it's a great game, it's a game that's compelling and fun to play. People want to play it. Making shmups in this day and age is such a niche genre. No one is commercially successful anymore. Shmups have not been commercially successful in a very long time, and I just loosely define commercially successful as a game that sells enough copies to allow you to support your development studio and team, right? Like not even crazy amounts, just a little bit. It's not the main view of most gamers these days, and shmups are also hard. So definitely like a lot of what's going on with Eternal Reverie, and we've never played it. I'm about ready to boot this for the first time and do what we do. We're going to just take a review because I think from an idea perspective, I like a lot of what's going on. And from my own group of people, right? Like I'm so hashtag lucky, whatever the kids say these days. I'm so very lucky to have a core group of gamers where this game would be right up our alley because a lot of us still play. A lot of us play co-op games. Whatever the flavor of the month is. We're playing Helldivers right now. We play Call of Duty. Like we play first-person shooters. We play other games as well that are off the beaten path. We get together and we're a group of people that we're able to field 11 people playing Call of Duty in terms of teams. So we know and like to play co-op games. So this is very, very cool. I personally enjoy roguelike elements to keep things, interesting. And I like, I've played thousands of hours of Heroes of the Storm, a few hundred hours of League of Legends, right? Like, so there's a lot of aspects to this that I'm really enjoying. I played, I've also played through crazy amounts of like Rogue Legacy 1 and 2, and the list goes on and on. So, all right, so I digress. So this was here for the developer. Now that everyone's got a good sense of what's going on, let's hit the play button. I'm playing with the PlayStation 5 controller. I will just do a live commentary as we see what's what. Grab a controller and kick back. This game needs a controller for best experience, so grab an Xbox controller, a DualSense controller, or really any kind of controller. Look at a device. Okay, don't show this for future games. Don't need that. Controller using Steam input. Your DualSense controller isn't supported by this game. Steam input will translate the device so you'll be able to play the game. Yep. All right, so we boot into windowed mode right out of the gate. All right, let's see if all right, so the good part is D-pad works, analog stick works. All right, we're jamming. So, okay, so no settings. Okay, so we got language, Z, X for confirm. Okay, so difficulty, we'll see, we get settings after this. All right, so let's see here. So what I'm looking for, by the way, is I was looking to see how to set my video settings because I like to play full screen borderless, windowed full screen borderless. So we'll see if that's configurable here in a sec. But until then, let's take a look at what we got. All right, difficulty. Easy, 3 out of 3 lives. So you don't really need a X out of X, do you? No, you just need the amount of lives. So unless you're going to change, okay, so he does change, or they do change this. So 1 and there's 2 lives total. All right, so you can have two, basically extends or lives max, and then your current. So, all right. Enemies have 80% HP plus 10% per additional player. Okay, it's nice that you're showing that out of the gate. No friendly fire. All right, also like that. I personally, I know there's a lot of I've played because we're playing Helldivers right now. Friendly fire is a very core aspect of the game, but we also played the cooperative battle mage games that they did before, which was really, really cool. So and it's a big part of the game. All right, enemies have less attacks, half a second invulnerability on taking damage. Okay. I mean, all these things make sense, I think. And even, okay, so, and then for normal mode, we get 2 lives, I guess total, 2 lives max. Enemies have 100% HP plus 30% per additional player. Okay. Optional friendly fire. Okay, so nice that you kind of put it in as an option. A couple things I would say, something that I love when I'm playing games, right, is if I pick, let's hang on, I'll give feedback. Let me just read this. So you get 1 life starting, 2 lives max. Enemies have 120% HP plus 30% purchase power. Okay, enemies have 100%. Okay, so they become tankier. All right. Friendly fire on clearly stated skills. Friendly fire on clearly stated skills. I think what you're saying is that some skill attacks will have friendly fire, some won't. All right, that's gonna might be a little confusing. I don't know. We'll just have to play. Enemies have additional attacks. All right, optional friendly fire. So, all right. Okay, well, cool. So first off, I like the choices. Very nice. Something that I really enjoy in gaming in general is I love when the developer gives me a little like, hey, this is the kind of player you are, right? Like, or this is the kind of this is also what your developer intention is, right? So if is the game meant to be played on hard? Is that like the true experience, or is this hard just for people that like harder games? Is this what you recommend as a developer? Is this where you're going to spend your time playing the game? If normal, like I just like usually when it's like normal, it's for people that, that are looking, this is like the way the game was intended to be played. It's kind of balanced for that middle of the road, that type of thing. It's nice that you can see there, but it's nice to have a couple like just options, kind of explaining what your intentions are from the development perspective. And then also kind of just to see user profiles and what they're doing. Knocking over my microphone. Okay. So now that we're in, so let's go with normal. And unfortunately I won't be playing with buds. Okay, so we've got a 4-panel screen, which is cool. Looks like we can play. I don't know if this is local multiplayer enabled or if this is for online, but I'll push the button here. Gladius, nice. Pixel art style is kind of nice and better than I'd expect it to be. So usually, well, there's a lot of bad, janky pixel art, but this is looking pretty competent. So nice job on that. So we got a little, what do we got here? So we've got a little like infographic here. So area, so you're, so the scaled, it might be that you're going for kind of a pixel art style with the text. I'm not a huge fan of pixel art text. That's just my thing. All right, it makes it harder to read. This is definitely not easy to read here. But I'm seeing area, sustained, burst, defense. And I think that's, it just might be a language thing. I think that you're spelling it with a C as opposed to an S. Trying to read a word upside down is silly. It should be control, agility. Yeah, so come on, like flip the bottom word up so we can read it. So I do. It's night. You probably want to fill in this graphic a little bit more so it's easier to read. You're not just reading an outline in the overall grid here. Okay. And then you have damage on the top. So damage, sustain. So this is your damage area. And then you've got a couple other aspects. Yeah, okay, I get it. Again, the ship looks cool. This looks like this is appealing looking, so I like the design there. Nice. She's got a big Gatling gun thing. The Gladius, HP 350, shield. Your overall text and presentation right now, if you haven't yet, let me back up. So your overall text and presentation, this text is flimsy and it's all hard to read. Also, this is not what I would consider a UI layout for a 10-foot away from the screen experience, so a big screen experience, right? If I want to play this on my, on my TV in the living room, especially if you have couch co-op, that's where a lot of people will be playing too. So just, you got a long time to go, so not a big deal, but just food for thought. The other thing that also is super important, I'm getting older, right? So reading like light gray text on a black background at this scale, while I can read it, so HP 350, shield, speed, it's not a pleasure to read. So I would keep that in mind in terms of readability. One of the things I look for in a lot of games these days that I appreciate is the ability to scale your UI, just to add a scaler, but that means you need to program with this in mind, right? So then you can increase the size of text and HUD elements. You're pretty early on. It's clear that you've got programming chops, so very, very cool. But yeah, so a couple bits there. All right, so what we got here? Double phaser. Yeah, double phaser. Fire 2x4 projectiles with medium range. Okay. Barrel roll, which is on the X button. A button is fire. X button is the button above fire. So, and if it were on a Xbox controller, it's what is it? It's A, B, X, Y. Okay, so you have A for main rapid shot, so that's good. And then you have maneuver on X. Interesting. Okay. So barrel roll, evade projectiles, laser, and collisions for 1 second. I think that's what that says. Interesting. So you're showing kind of, you're telling how many invulnerability frames you have. Okay, cool. Nuclear flash, which is on the B button. Deal damage to all enemies, disarms them, and destroys their projectiles. Deal damage to all enemies, Okay, so this is like a bomb. And yeah, you're 1, 2, 3, and these graphics, yeah. So like, you know, we talked about it. Okay, and destroys their projectiles. Okay, so you got a bullet cancel there. That's good. Passive adds flash grenade to double phaser. Ah, so that would suggest, mixing and matching each of these abilities, perhaps to create secondary and tertiary effects. Well, I get very roguelike. Yeah, it makes me excited. Okay, so you got A for confirm, B for cancel, Y for profile. I don't know what that means, and X for details. So, all right. So AX. So right off the cuff, if you don't have a settings for remapping controls, highly recommend that. And you know, so but off the cuff, I would say that it feels a bit awkward to have evade over the rapid fire button. So here, generally, like I mean, I would probably put the evade button on the B button here. But if it's not remappable, whatever. But primarily because in my mind, I like to keep my weaponry if I can. Now, granted, I've made Interstellar Sentinel, so some of this is coming from my own brain, right? But I like to keep the weapons on the left side of the 4 buttons and the special mechanics on the right side. So, and also from like Danmaku, a lot of times in the Danmaku style, which you have a wide beam and you have a short beam. So typically your rapid fire is going to be on the square button or maybe at the X button. And your focus beam will be on the A button, which also slows you down. Not sure if you have that mechanic in here, but just food for thought in terms of controls. Okay, so let's see. Let's press the profile button. Profile. Okay, cool. So you can have profiles. Just my little thing is I personally like, oh man, this is weird. All right. Oh, wow. Okay, so if you go down, so there's no continuous scroll if you hold down on the input. A, B, C, D, O, C. And then also it's a bit weird, it's just food for feedback, but it's a bit weird to always start with numbers. Now maybe that might be a thing. It could just be me. Come on, man. Where's my B? B. I'm actually lost. I don't know where I'm going. B. Oh my God. Yeah, because if I just want to use initials, I would start with essentially what I would do is I would start with up is A, like down is 0. So you can always go backwards if you want. But right now you're making me scroll through 10 digits if I just want to put initials in. So, and we'll just say, oh, and then what's that? That's so weird. So you go through the numbers and then you start with Z? What? Okay, so you meant, oh, that's how you flipped it. Okay, so you put down on the D-pad to start with, okay, I got it, all right. It's weird to loop through 0 and then come out on Z. So but it's not the end of the world. I'll figure it out. All right. So I got controls. Oh, nice. Remappable controls. Yeah. All right. So I'll do that. So shoot. So let's see here. Skill 1. I want shoot on X. I want ability on A for me, I think. And then I want special on B, which is right. Okay, and use item as Y. Cool. I like that. What's this show position? Oh, L trigger. All right. And then there's a pause button. All right. And all right, cool. Awesome. And I assume profile also gives you the opportunity to choose what type of customization you want for your ship in terms of each of your weapons and ability. So, but we'll figure it out. All right. So let's see. And then we got details. Let's look at details. All right. Details. Okay, so details just gives you expanded details. All right, I like that. Okay, now Shiv. Okay. Phaser MK2, fire projectile. Fire projectile that inflicts. All right, that inflicts damage at close range. All right, so got a close range projectile barrel roll. You might want to consider if you haven't. I don't know the game yet. So, but you want to firm up your shot types. So, like for me, I wound up just recently doing this where I use the term rapid fire, power shot, auto shot. So, just you might want to think about that. So, all right. Barrel roll, okay, so we know that. And Gauss rifle, fire projectile that deals 300 damage at close range, deals less damage, and stuns for longer as it deals less damage and stuns for longer as it travels. Max 5 seconds. Stun is strong enough to paralyze any type of enemy. Requires a minigun 2.0 second charge time. So you say Gauss rifle and then minigun. I don't know. So I'm sure I'll figure that out at some point. So whatever. I mean, look, this stuff's early. So all right, let's take a look at. So first of all, that guy looks kind of cool. That guy's cool. That guy's okay. All right, this guy looks dope. It gives me some Einhander flavor right here, some vibes. All right, cruiser laser. What is this? The Lancer. All right. Powerful and precise laser that inflicts 120 damage a second to enemies. Relentless until its canister depletes, lasting 3 seconds. There's some weird flavor language there to try to clarify that. I mean, you're saying it's relentless. I assume you're just saying that it's got a reload, so it's got a blink teleport. Ooh, that sounds neat. Up to 150, whatever. Dealing 100 damage in a 30 radius upon arrival. Yeah, so you want to go through your language and figure out what you want to call your units of measurement, and then if it's an AOE, so you do a rinse and wash on that. Solar flare, redirect 10 shields to enhance cruiser laser, dealing 100% extra damage to both allies and enemies. Requires a 3-second charge time and stops automatically upon shield depletion. All right, I think I understand that. That's cool. All right, so we got another guy here. What is this guy? Catapult. All right. Phaser gun. Fire a salvo of 5 phaser shots that deal 10 damage each with 300 range. Fire a rocket that upon an impact deals 30 damage. Its explosion deals 50 damage in a 60 area radius, has 35 range, and explodes upon reaching it. Stores up to 3 charges. All right. It's a lot of words that are making it harder for me to understand the functionality. It's kind of there, but you probably want to reduce consistently, like do your stuff. So, Nova missile. Fire a very slow missile that can be manually detonated. Okay. Upon impact deals 80 damage and explosion deals 60 damage /S for 6 seconds. Has permanent 3 charges and recharges 1 missile per stage. There's a lot of extra weird qualifying language on how things are working here. So it's going to be a hard thing to work on with the trade-offs. Okay, but this guy looks cool too-ish. So far, I think this is my favorite looking ship. All right. Retarius. Fire a big projectile that creates a static field on impact. Take 50% less damage and becomes unstoppable for 3 seconds. That's the energy rush. Static blast. Create a big static field that lasts for 4 seconds. All right, this sounds kind of interesting too. Look at this guy. This guy's dope looking. He's like a beast. Sagita. This guy looks broken, but this game's a year out, so who knows. Vulcan cannon. Nice. Vulcan cannon's a total nod to Einhander. Fires 7 bullets a second and build heat. So I guess when you say something like and build heat, if the heat is not, let me just finish reading, I guess. So drones, redirect drones and turrets. Passive adds drones that fires 5 bullets a second. All right. Turret drops an auto-targeting turret that has 500 HP. Okay. Sounds cool. Like the Seyriuu sounds interesting. I guess what I was going to say is, so when you add something to the description, like fires 1 bullet a second, so you probably want to use like DPS or something like that. Maybe it is the amount of bullets. It's hard, like it's an interesting one to think. Also, you might want to just, instead of being as exact with saying the amount, which I think is, that might be a 1, might be 7, probably 7. But when you say something like and build heat, I assume what you're trying to say is that as you use the weapon builds up heat, and then if it overheats, then it has a cooldown, right? So, all right. But it's not fully easy to understand right now. So bullets 2x damage. All right. While shooting, and bullets deal 2x damage if over 75% heat. Ooh, I like that. There's some really thoughtful design mechanics here, which makes you want to like kind of keep your heat at the top of your rapid firing, but then you're going to want to strum the bullet. You want to strum the fire button in order to keep your heat in that last 25% to get the maximum out. But it comes with risk reward. That's good. Very smart. Drones fire. We talked about. Okay, cool. All right, Sigita Belitis. All right, what is this? Spectre's Phantom Halo. Spectre's Spectress that attacks nearby enemies. Infesting shoots 2 projectiles in a circular arc. Okay. Infest the nearest ally, enhancing their abilities and sharing the damage they take. Synthetic taint. Infest the nearest ally. Using the word infest is interesting. That's usually bad. Apparition bulwark. Summon an infestable apparition that damages and slows nearby enemies. Okay. Infesting. Materialize a physical shield that blocks damage. Okay. Yeah, so infest for the enemies. That's a good thing. Some kind of change the wording to something else for buffs, for buffing your allies. Could still use infest. All right, Gladius. All right. That was all of them, right? All right, lots of ship selection. This is super cool. You've got my first impressions there. Oh, I'm excited to play. Is there anything else that came out of this? I guess what I want to play. Let's try the Lancer. This looks like some fun here. All right. Before I start, is there anything else I wanted to talk about here? Oh, quick little suggestion for you. Not now. Something to keep in the back of your mind. When you finalize, this is one of the last things you'll probably do, but it's always fun to see a ship's abilities in action. So maybe it's on this page, like you could scroll through and it's like, so here it's like the highlight, right? So like these are basically your highlight boxes, right? And then every time you scroll that's a terrible arrow, between the boxes, replace, like do a little video. You could, and if depending on how it is, you could do it in engine as well, maybe a little test scene level or something like that. But just a little video showing that ability in action, I think that would help quite a bit. Then again, players are going to discover it, not at the end of the day, but it really helps build that excitement. This is one of the first things the player's going to see, or players. So being able to see visually as opposed to trying to abstract understand text with weapons without a lot of context yet, this will paint much more vivid pictures in mind. And if people are playing, especially if they're playing local couch co-op or not, they can be like, oh, this looks cool. Or because here you have the challenge of trying to create something that is mobile-like, right? Where you have more class bases. So one of the things I do with my friends is I'd be like, okay, cool. I'll be the tank. Oh, I'll be the support ship. I'll be the DPS. Oh, I'll be the specialist, right? So food for thought. Let's get some water here. All right, let's get in it. Lancer. Oh, there's pilots. Increase ship skill 1 main shot damage by 20%. All right, increase ship skill. Yeah, you probably want to break these out into like bullets. Yishin, Murslav, increase ship max shield by 25. Paula, reduce ship skill 1 main shot cooldown by 15%. Yeah, we just got, you got to clarify your, yeah, I kind of get what you're saying, but it's a little bit harder to parse. Increase ship speed by 1. All right, Hamilton's a speedy guy. That's kind of cool. Reduce all damage taken by 2. Wow, that's pretty powerful. Increase ship skill by 2 and 3. Damage by 20%. So I'm not sure if they're building a little story around this or not. It's cool that the pilots have additional abilities. So if you haven't thought about it, maybe a little build your own pilot where you have a pool of skills, or maybe unlock other pilots. It's a roguelike. So you can then assign your own skills to your pilots. All right. Increase ship's max shield by 25. Reduces ship skill. All right. Ship speed by 1. So reduce all damage. Or yeah, let me see here. Increase ship speed by 1. What do we want to try here? Increase ship skill 1. Main shot damage by 20%. That dude, straight up damage sounds dope. Skills 2 and 3 damage by. Oh, okay. All right. I like what you got going on here. Cool. So there's really this kind of nice mix match. I hope that when you save to profile, it saves your pilot along with the ship. All right. So why don't we reduce ship skill, increase ship max shield, increase ship skill, increase all damage taken by 2. Yeah, it depends on, I don't know how things get damaged right now, so it's hard to understand how significant that is. Reduce ship skill 1 cooldown by 15%. Okay. Ship shield, increase ship skill 2 and 3. Ship's max shield. All right, let's straight up increase our main shot by 20%. Okay. 1 in a world. Oh, neat. Okay. Checking out the controls. All right, so nice analog control, which is nice. Just checking the buttons. So I got this kind of short range laser thing. Okay. Nice big beam. Oh wow, these little, okay. So these little ship nuggets, they don't even read as enemies right now. I don't know what those are. And then you had this thing where you show this big ship, which is giving me this like super nice, awesome laser. So my eyes are drawn to this thing, and then you bring in a bunch of really small things. These little ships are not satisfying visually at all. Just, you know. And by the way, I talked to the developers. Zola and I are very, very fine with just raw speak. So we're not trying to like candy code or sugar code any of the language. Okay. Let's see. So I'm shooting the little guys. I like this What's that? Just trying to learn the language of the game right now. Okay, those blue things are collectibles. And they have a little attract. That's nice. Your collectibles are... You need to... You need your collectible... Like, it's still very early, right? It is not satisfying to collect your collectibles yet. You probably want to add a little like trail, like as they streak towards, and then a little, you know, you're missing a sound effect right now, and then a little particle poof or something. Like, you know, it doesn't have to be a lot, but just enough to make it satisfying. But it's good that you have collectibles. Oh, okay. So these guys break into 2 pieces. We got bullets there. Okay. Whoa. Oh, okay. So there is ground collision, I think. Okay, so this is some kind of charge thing. Teleport, that's that. All right. Nice little, I like your little particle effects on the guy's movement. That's kind of cool. So, charge time. I think you're saying that your charge time is like we decrease charge time. So it didn't read very well to me, but you know, again, first time I'm playing with any of this, so. All right. All right, I'll use my teleport. All right, so this is the charge up thing. So I've got this meter. I got douched. All right. So let's see. All right. I think this is a super meter of some sorts. I think. HP, I think. Not sure. All right, so I got, okay, so this little heart nugget is probably my lives. Okay, fair enough. I would, yeah, this thing is really, small. All right, I don't know what this is yet. Again, this game is super early in development, right? We're a year out, so I'm just, you know, food for thought here. You got some kind of indicator at the top here, design-wise. Wow. And then let's take a look. What is this? Oh yeah, holy shit! Like, so I assume when you're playing 4 players, then you have you have each of the panels down here for each of the players. This is a lot. This is a lot of screen real estate to give up for the player. Now, I also get, though, like one of the challenges you have currently is that you're trying to essentially, like, it looks like you've got, you know, it's very mobile-like, so you have skills, and skills are on cooldown with their different attacks. So interesting in itself. I like that, by the way. You know, there's some interesting things you can do in that space. And now you want to have some kind of indicator for the player to know when their skills are on cooldown. It's still a lot of real estate to give up here. Let's take a look here. Come on. No, just do this. I just wanted to see if just want to see a couple of images. Okay. take a look at something else. Okay, so we'll just do this. Open Photoshop. Oh, you know what? Interesting. Whatever. Close enough. Let's take a quick look, shall we? Okay, so here, looking at, I've played thousands of hours of HOTS, so that's kind of where I'm going here. So here, you've kind of got the equivalent of your player portrait bits, and then up here you have both teams showing, right? So I think honestly, if I were you, because right now, like the amount of real estate that you're dedicating down here, this is very, very awkward. Hello. There we go. All right. Yeah, in all honesty, I would take some inspiration from this. So this is I'm having a really, really, really negative response to all the space that you're spending down here for nothing, basically. For even in 4-player, if we're gonna see all 4-player portraits, that is a tremendous amount of real estate that should be dedicated to gameplay. So I would honestly really rethink how you're spending this here, and then I would come back and take a look at what you're trying to achieve, right? So basically, actually, I don't even need my overlay for that. I can just all right. All right, cool. Yeah, so I would take a look at the heavier frames that they're using here for your own champ, and you can put it, you know, so basically the way it kind of breaks down, they did some really good studies on when, mostly Western side of things, but when someone's looking at a new image for the first time, they usually are going to look here. This is the most important piece of screen real estate, and then so it's your little eyeballs here, right? And then this is the second most important part, and then the eyes usually do this. So that's your third most important part, and then this is your last place. So the eyes tend to do like a Z look across things. Now things change a little bit depending on you know how you naturally read, whether you're Eastern or Western. There's a few other bits. So I think my take on it would be take your portrait, because now knowing that, right? So this basically this comes up here. This would go up here in the top. Your frames are really, really flimsy. Take a look at what they've got going on here. Like in Heroes of the Storm, you know, masterclass designers, right? So you need a slightly heavier frame if you want to open that up. You're also overloading you're overloading just, you know, like the player portraits, right? So there's a lot of information you're trying to convey here. Which you and then I think so if you take a look here, looking at Heroes of the Storm as a reference, then I would do this, right? So I would get rid of this, I think. Oops. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? Like I can't help myself. All right. What is the problem, me? Whatever. You get the point. I don't need to do a bunch of like on the wrong layer. Hello, layer. Am I brushing? Am I brushing my teeth? What's going on right now? That's what it is. All right. So it looks something like this. What the fuck? There we go. Okay. And the numbers here, I mean, you've got this problem anyways with how flimsy everything is. Now, granted, you're not that far off. It's often that PC developers develop for PC, right? Like you're sitting basically a couple, feet from the monitor, and you can even see it here with like, even in Heroes of the Storm, like, the small, like there's some things like the timer, levels were bigger, right? So there's the theory of like how big the element is determines how important it is, right? And then I would probably do something like, that, and then I would probably I'd bring this down all the way. There we go. Now we're cooking. And then something like this. Whatever this top thing is at the top, I have no idea. It's too flimsy, so I'm still learning, right? This is like me 5 minutes into the game. I'm just giving you a sense for what I'm really having a hard issue with. And then I would take, if you have to, and I totally understand, right? If you want to keep this information up for everyone, that's another thing. But I don't think everyone needs to see everyone else's stuff. So you could anchor your skills in the bottom left corner if you really wanted to, since you're going to have these kind of cooldowns, right? So then now you have those two pieces there. And then if you had to, which I think, which part of what you want to do, right, is if you're going to have a healer class, you really want the most important things, which are the health and the resources, right? So kind of coming back in this case, right, the minions they have their own life bars, right? So here, I think it's like a shield. There's health on top, a shield, and some kind of cooldown thing. I gotta look again. But anyways, so I think though that if I were to take this inspiration fully through, I would do something like this. So I would drop these things out of here, and then that begs the question. You could leave them there, but if you really want interactive like supports and carries and things like that, then you want people not looking at abstract bars necessarily. You want them looking at their buddies. So you might want to consider doing a version where you have essentially, your life. I don't know if you need a cooldown here. So something like, all right. So then you probably want your life bar. You probably don't need the numbers on top of it in this case, because numbers are just redundant. But you could have, oops, close enough. Yeah. So then you could have your meters. You can also integrate into the ship. Something I really like is when ships, as they take damage, they start to show, like they start to fire and smoke and show things there. But if you had to as well, you could also bring the cooldown meter underneath. So you could do something like that. So it's something like this, maybe. Maybe it's actually like this. Yeah, so you could, I'd probably put, I'd flip this actually, vertical. Because maybe not. Either way, it could probably work either way. But the green, the most important thing would be on top. So But I would consider a version where you have these bits here, and then you have your cooldown bar here. I think if you're talking about in terms of showing everyone in the same screen, then which I can see why you want your choices there. You probably want to actually take a little inspiration from here, right? Which is probably the most important things to know about your team are essentially who they are at first blush, right? What characters they are, what ships they are. That's the other thing, by the way. I guess what's pilots. I mean, pilots are a little bit more of an abstract thing in this case, but what is this? Is it this? No. Is it this one? No. It's one of these. Oh yeah, it's this one. All right. There we go. So we do something like that. Hide that. Get this guy back over here. And then you could have, if you know aside from yourself maybe, but if you wanted to have just your pilots here, then you could have I don't know what kind of team skills or team abilities you have, or if there's like a combined like collective super or anything like that, but there would be some other reasoning to have essentially the pilots. Either you can put them up here, but you could also put them down here. So just some food for thought. But I think it's better to have a little bit of HUD elements that are obscuring the actual gameplay field as opposed to having what you have now, which is a really big bar of just zero time. My opinion, my food for thought there. Yeah. Okay. Let's get back into it, shall we? All right. So learn how to play. So I don't know what this. I've got some kind of indicator thing. Checking out hitboxes. So it looks like I exploded, but that's totally fine. I'm just not really playing, I'm observing, right? All right, we died. We dove out the high dive and we dived. Normal. Okay, so at least you remember what I had before, so that's cool. Nice little parallaxing. Oh, look, the planet's cracking, which is cool. Oh no, you did not remember. It would be nice if you remembered what the previous ship was. So because and granted you're gonna force a new loop, so maybe I don't know, food for that. Hard to see your debris. Yeah, everything is really super small. Like these little enemies. All right, we had talked about that already. So I got some kind of charge down. Okay, so I got that cooldown on my skill here, right? All right, cool enough. Don't know what that is. Oh. Ooh, bomba. So you got these little cargo guys. Oh, I keep running into. The cargo things sort of look like, I mean, I'm learning what they are. They don't look like, they're not so much enemies, so. But we've already talked about overall size, so. Your bullet speeds on the bottom tank are quite fast. You have some, oh, okay, so you have this indicator. All right, I see. So you're starting to see sort of these faint line indicators. All right. What's this? Oh, okay. Oh, neat. Interesting. I like these weird trackable bullets. So they're like multi-track stage bullets. Nice. I don't know if there's any advantage to 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, and then the orb thing. Oh, what's this? Speed up. Okay. So one of the other things you've got going on right now, let me see here. Whoa. It's not, I'm not sure yet, but it's not super satisfying right now to kill these really small enemies. And one of the other things you've got going on is that you've got small enemies that are taking multiple hits. So like the ship with the cargo bits in the back, each one of those takes a hit. So when I blow up the first part of the ship, even though I have 3 shots coming out, it doesn't feel satisfying to then. It's fine if it takes all 3-shot bursts, but if I hit all 3 shots and it doesn't die, then it feels like I have to stick around again and wait with that enemy longer, which then kind of mounts a little bit of frustration. I love these guys. Oh, cool. I like your bullet patterns. That's fun. It was good to track these. It was fun to see these. Whoa! Got hit by that. What the? All right. So one of the things you'll run into, and I don't think this is bad necessarily. It might be different ship types, but a lot of people are going to have a hard time working with the short range weaponry. Now again, I personally like that because I obviously built lots of gameplay around it. But I can just tell you that players, crap, what is this? I don't understand. I think those little blue things might increase my collection, or I don't know what it is. I don't know what the blue meter is. It's charging up right now, so it's at 50. So I've noticed it a couple times that when these things explode, you have bullets that then with these that don't fully progress, they explode. And I don't know why they time out and do that, but it feels awkward. Because what was a threat then explodes for no real reason and is no longer a threat. So typically I prefer that once a bullet has bursted, that they travel to be off screen, unless they're destructible. That might be a thing, or cancelable. That's another. So just food for thought. Okay. All right. All right. What is this? Magazine charger. Shots and double phasers magazine deal increased damage +1 per shot. +1. Shots and double phasers magazine deals increased damage +1 per shot. Are you just saying it's +1 damage? Magazine charger. I'm not sure. Confused, but that's all right. Defensive roll. Barrel roll converts energy or enemy bullets in a 300 area radius. Okay. You give me a little bit of a thing there. All right. Cluster grenades. Nuclear grenades release 5 mini grenades in all directions, each dealing 50% nuclear flash damage in half the area. Okay. So what's the? Am I picking something here? Am I replacing something that I have? Am I... All right, so let's see. So we have this. So we have the. So this is an upgrade to my rapid shot. This is this is defensive roll. So this is probably different than the teleport. So I think that might replace that. Let's try that. Confirm. Nope. Yeah, I think what I'm gonna. Okay. Wow, it is not satisfying to shoot these things at all. Partially because some of it is that I'm so weak. My shot type is weak. Let me see here. What do we got here? So I used the bomb thing, and it didn't destroy all of the cargo bits there, which is a bit weird. Might not understand how it's working. So interesting is that the shot type, so I'm discovering, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's a reload. And if I manually tap it 1, 2, 3, 4, then I will stay at where I'm at with the shot type. So one of the strategies I might wind up using for this is to basically, oh shit, is bait? I'm gonna die here. One of the things I try to use tactics wise is to not always be shooting, because that's a little bit, you know, typically in shooters, if there's no punishment to shooting, then shoot all the time. Otherwise, if there's punishment, which there is in this case, being in the weird cycle of 1, 2, 3, 4 in terms of your ammunition loading, then I would be inclined to stay at the top of a full mag, a full clip, and then wait for the enemies and then unload so I get maximum damage. I don't. I'm still thinking about it. Gameplay, right? I died. Oh, there we go. Speed up, that was nice. Oh, I have a shield. Oh, what's that? What is that? That's cool. Afterburning. Shooting these asteroids doesn't feel super fun. What is that? Oh, okay. Oh, so the camera moves. Oh, only moved up in that case. I like that, you know, you're keeping me on my toes. Oh. Your bullets that this guy shoots out, they are borderline too fast to dodge with the current ship speed, at least in this case. And I'm already at like ship speed 3 or something. Oh, what's that? Oh, oh, oh. Discharge. Wow, this is a real slog. Whoa. All right, can I fly over the ship? I think I can. I think I can, Daddy. Ooh, oh, oh. Oh, I died. All right, I'm getting used to it, though. Oh, I got afterburned in my face. Got no volley missiles. you have collision with the ship as well? Let's give it a go. All right. Gladius, Shiv, Lancer. So we had these Lancers last time. Let's try the Sagita. Oh, actually I wanted to change my button mapping. Where are we at button mapping? Details? I've forgotten where to change my buttons. See, confirm, cancel, profile. Profile. Where did I? Maybe it was a screen in. All right, let's try the Sagita. Increase ship skill, damage shot. Yeah, I want to, for even for taking this pilot and having 20% damage on top of this, I think, man, everything is very chunky in this game. So in terms of bullets, oh, look at this. This is cool. Oh yeah, this is nice. Oh, I remember this has got the charge up thing. Wow, look at that. Let's try the... Oh, wait a minute. I want to do this. All right. All right. Let's try it again. All right. Normal. There. Oh. Holy shit. Is it edit? Aha, that's where it's at. All right. So here we go. Skill 1 shoot. Okay, so yeah, so I have rapid fire up there, skill 1. Ability. So special is B, use item is Y. Oh yeah, right. There's show position, which I haven't, which I did probably just highlight you so you don't get lost in 4-player. So, okay. X, A. So A is ability, B is special, X is shoot. Yeah, okay. Because special can be the bomb, so B on there. Oh, that's right, because the ship I was using gives me movement on the other button. So yeah, okay, I think I will leave it like that after all that. All right, Sagita. Nice and fast. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. Nice. So when you hold the button down, you can position the way your lasers are shooting. That is really nice. I like it. I like it a lot. There's a lot of good creativity in this game. Oh, I overheated. Wow, that cooldown is something else. Come on. Come on. Boy. Oh, I'm overheating. You need a sound effect for that. Oh gosh. God, it's still freaking there. Holy crap, it takes so long to kill everything in this game. I mean, that starts to feel okay with that having that convergence point. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah, we already talked about the so your visibility on these bullets, really rough. Also, we talked about the speed a little bit, which is fine, but if you want me to actually micro dodge between these areas, the bullets are almost too fast for that. So relative to the ship speed. And yeah, it's very hard to see them when they're being shot down here. So, all right. Some damage. So, okay, what's the deal here? Okay, so I am taking damage, which is hitting my life bar there. Oh, by the way, I think I bounce off the ground. Yeah, so you take damage when you collide with the ground too. It's not the end of the world. You know, it's what you got. Yeah, I think back to kind of the HUD elements. I mean, having this recharge bar over the top of the ship, you know, would be much easier to see. Especially, I mean, I like that you have the cooldown indicators when you're overheated. So if I'm manually tapping, there's a lot to explore in this game. So if I'm manually tapping the fire button, oh my gosh. Come on, game, I'm just trying to learn how to play. Oh yeah, that's the turrets, right? Neat. And we got a little one thing, attack speed. Ooh, nice. Woo! What's that? Oh, one. What's up with it? Ooh, gosh. Oh. Whoa. Dude, I don't know, dude. Those fire plumes, they freak me out every time. I'm not sure how to deal with them yet. Starting to feel pretty good about it. There's stuff in this game feels good. Whoa. I just feel like I get lucky every time I manage to not take damage from those fire plume attacks. Okay, so drones become immune to overheat and auto-target the closest enemy. Okay. Drone cooling, piercing bullets. Sounds pretty good. Double turret. Turrets gain an extra Vulcan cannon, 50% more health, and extends its duration by 25%. Yeah, let's this. So automatically, each one of these choices, yeah, it feels good. I like making choices like this, and they feel like they're meaningful to change the mechanics that fit my play style. Let's go to try double turret. Nice little confirm. I like that I did a little damage to the cargo thing, and it wound up exploding. It had a little, like, you know, it was about to explode kind of flavor. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So here, take a look. Just take a look. So here I am. Pretty good about fire and the damage to the cargo thing and flavor, and wound up exploding. So I have So for the most part, I actually have a pretty good line here. I like that I did a little damage to the... so I've got about 19 in my to the cargo, like in terms of my overall overheats. All right, so then I see these guys, right? Here and here and here, which is good. And so I'm like, okay, I get these guys. And then I have this string. You got, it's kind of nice having the enemy indicators, I guess, where they're coming from. That'll be nice for leading too. I didn't really notice it, but my eyes were looking at the closest enemies, right? So what's happening to me right now is I'm like, all right, I saw those guys. I want to kill them, which I'm kind of doing a decent job trying to kill, right? You know, but I'm also, these are the most dangerous things to my ship. So I'm looking to dodge in case I miss or I overheat, right? And then ideally, what I want to do is I want to shoot my way up through this line of enemies, right? And I'm getting some good shots, a little low there. Correct my aim. I missed this guy here. It's also because of the size of these things too. So I see that I missed this guy. I come back down here to shoot this guy. Man. These guys are, it's hard to do, but I recommend that if you want chunkier enemies, then try to develop a design language that makes your enemies, there's a reason for them to be chunkier, right? Like generally bigger is generally beefier, right? Smaller is not. So it's not super satisfying to kill your popcorn enemies. So then I shoot those guys. I don't need sound for this. And I'm like, I'm not successful at all at fully killing all those guys. I miss a few more. And where I think I could be like kicking some ass and taking some names, I miss a bunch of shots there. I'm holding down the button. 1, 2. Yeah, these guys get by. And then it just starts to become a snowball from here, right? Where I'm like, all right, how many shots do these guys take? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's 6. Yeah, 6. 6 shots. Holy shit. So, okay, a couple things going on right here, right? Actually, looks like you did a bullet bin there, right here. Bloop. Because they collided. I would say, I mean, we're counting pixels right now, but one of the things that I like to do in my shmups, right, is it looks like you're pretty much your pixel perfect collision. I like to create, if it's like you don't have much of in the way of the enemy size right now, but be a little generous with your collision boxes for your bullets, right? So like for instance, with this, I would probably create like a little invisible box. This would be a ton. It's just pinpoint accuracy means that you're going to miss a lot as a player. It means you have to be more precise to sort of line up your shots, and it doesn't feel very good. You got to be generous to players. There's a lot going on all the time. You don't have to be so generous that it becomes, like fire and forget, but generous enough to where players feel like they're doing a decent job trying to manage everything. So I don't know if that's helpful. But anyway, so what happens here, right, is so these guys get by, doesn't feel super satisfying to shoot them. I'm on up taking these guys down. I have this line of enemies that comes back this way, and then I have the next line here. And this is one of those things where I suspect what you're doing is the game is sort of balanced for 4 players, right? So if it's a 4-player game, you're cranking the hit points a bit, which is typical, right? But in a single-player game, what's going to happen, especially with this, is because of my shot type And maybe if I strummed properly, I could have killed these guys. I'm getting pretty high on my heat meter, but it feels like it's not actually possible to kill these strings of enemies. And you need to think about what the intention is for you as a player. Is it that you want players to be able to screen clear everything? Is it that you can't ever really screen clear everything? And if that's the case, then is it a bomb that the player has to use? Like, what is the intention behind your enemy spawns and what you're asking the player to do? Because I'll tell you one thing is that once it becomes clear that I can't complete this section, and the enemies just keep stringing, right? They take 6 shots to kill. They're not really satisfying to shoot, and they just keep coming. The enemies start to get by. This doesn't feel super good. This, granted, I'm 10 minutes old in the game, so take it for a grain of salt. There, it's just first time feels, right? Oh, I got hit there. Can I reposition these guys at all? The turrets? Here comes a wave. So I think I have a shield. That's what happens. My shield pops. Trying to strum my my Vulcan a little bit, because remember, I do more damage in that last. See, on the last bit. So there's a canister. Oh, took damage. Wow, that overheat is way long. That's crazy. That takes a long time for the cooldown to wear off. That time I did much better because I played it at least once. What is that, flak? Oh, I died. Oh, I didn't even see those guys pop in. Guys, I like that. Again, you have a lot of good stuff going on here. This is I like the warning indicators. These feel really good. They get me out of the way, which is nice, right? They have a nice a very nice aesthetic in terms of balancing some of that gameplay. Shit. I dropped my turret there. Oh, look, these hatches come off. Oh, that's neat. Oh. Gosh. I think I can kill those static electrolord things. Oh, I'm gonna die. Dang it. I think that's it. All right. All right. All right. So that I like what what we have going on with the Sagita. So, Playtest. What's this? This is the Spectre Phantom thing. Electro cannon, catapult, phaser gun, lancer. Let's try the. So we did Gladius once. Let's try the Shiv. All right, what else we got? Max shield by 25. Ship skill 1, main shot cooldown by 15%. Give that a try. All right, time to learn a new ship thing. So I'm pressing the rapid fire shot. Oh, did is my profile tied to my pilot, or are my controls tied to my pilot? There's no way to go back. All right, let's learn something new. So, okay, so I got some kind of white bar over the blue. So that's like my shield mechanic for this guy. It might be for the way things are going, so. So if I collide with ships, do they do damage? No, you can kind of push them around. That's cute. All right, so it looks like there's no ship collision damage with that at least. Okay, interesting. Not bad, just interesting. So I dropped my shield there. And I totally get it, right? Like, in order to make things feel stronger, you have to create room, right? If everything gets one shot, there's no reason to get a stronger shot, right? But you still need to think about your classes of weapons. Yeah, that's cute. Max stun duration. All right. So you have these kind of, I assume they're power-ups specific to the ship. Oh, so those guys have the I bet you they do damage, right? Yeah, okay. So the guys, they have these like plasma blade cutters on the front. All right. So they do damage. Oh, okay. And those explosions come from the cargo bomb things. So something else for you is, so right now I'm using, which button is it? I think it's my charge shot. You want to add an or some kind of like it's not ready sound effect every time I try to push the button, because right now I'm pushing the button to see if I can use my charge. And I don't have time to look down and see that it's on, that I have a cooldown on it. Man, he's got a 30-second, like almost a 60-second cooldown on this thing. So it's basically almost unusable. Oh. I guess I just go backwards? Don't hit the ground. Oh, wait a minute, that's weird. So it's inconsistent because I'm still learning the language of the game. So I can bump into ships and not take damage, but I hit the ground and I take damage, right? Like that's, yeah, I mean, all or nothing. I would just say if you want, then, you know, collide with a ship. Colliding with ships can do damage. Or I would turn off collision with the ground. Fine to collide, but not do damage. Call it shields, repulsors, whatever it is. Or leave it in. Up to you. Just trying to learn. So it feels really good. I like these bullet plumes you got. They definitely feel good. Alright, Gauss rifle, pump energy into the shell after being fully charged, adding up to 100% damage if charged for 3 seconds, alright? Shift mode, increase all damage dealt by phaser paid 2 by 20%. That has a range of 200, that sounds good. Critical strike. Phaser Pin projectile has 15% chance to deal 20% Gauss rifle damage additionally. Yeah, okay, so crits, let's go with this. Cool. All right, we'll give a few more. All right, catapult. Did we do catapult? This guy looks cool too, by the way. So if because I'm still learning the hopefully this is the case. So ideally my controls are always loaded by default as my DBK profile. And if not, then it would be, it'd be nice to be like, hey, this is your profile until you change it, even between your core game loops. All right, reduce all damage taken. Let's try that. Yeah, it's a bit more of like a tactical shooter, I think. Just in terms of short range weapons and all that, which I don't mind too much. It's interesting. It's different. Now, whether players are gonna like it or not, like you don't know. You gotta build it, and then build your gameplay around it. I also personally, if I could, I'm a big fan of weapons that have cooldowns. Granted, your cooldowns are a little excessive right now so far. But, it's just the first impressions. I think that's your ships. Your ships look cool. Functionality wise, they look cool, but they don't feel good right now in terms of their weaponry. It's small, it's flimsy. It's like you want to feel powerful, right? Like you are essentially controlling a machine of war, right? And that machine of war should be awesome. And right now, my little pew pews, I mean, there is zero awesome in this. The indicator is almost way more awesome than the bullets itself, right? So, and maybe that's because they explode. I'm not sure. This is just food, like impressions, right? All right, what's the deal here? It's a big missile. So that missile feels pretty good when it goes off. And in terms of the AoE on that. But looking at the projectile doesn't feel very good. I mean, yeah, I mean it's so puny. Now granted, look, it's functionality is the most important thing, and functionally you're starting to get it there. But look, the size of the projectile, like you've got the core things that you're kind of dealing with here, right? Which is you're trying to establish scale of the world. You're trying to establish I think, I would try a version where, your ships are like little bit bigger. I think you might be using like a hitbox. So I would recommend if you're taking bullet hell elements, I'm not entirely sure. I think I was testing that earlier with kind of where you got hit with the bullets. Actually, let me try to take a look at this. But anyways, I digress. So bigger ship. And then, you know, if the player ship gets bigger, then you can increase the size of your enemies to be a little bit bigger. These guys feel pretty good. I might even make them a tiny bit bigger, but I think the world feels really tiny. And you've got a lot of visual noise. Like when I get into the asteroid belt, I'm not. It's not satisfying to blast through those asteroids, and because they're all in this also palette later in the second part after the first I don't know, first level, first rogue choice. I was going to comment on that, but it doesn't feel super great there. All right, so let's see. Two, one. I mean, even shooting that big like that homing missile. Like, the thing's got so much beef. All right, I'm taking a look at the missiles again here. So 3, 2, 1. I got a first missile. Getting a little better. All right, cluster rockets. Suppose the rockets fire phaser shots in a circle upon detonation. Okay. Echo blast. After a brief delay, a secondary explosion with 70% area triggers from the explosive rockets. Breaking shells. Phaser shots mark the enemy. After 5 marks, the enemy gets its armor reduced by 30 for 8 seconds. Cannot be marked again for 5 seconds. You got a lot of mechanics under the hood that have weird drawbacks, but are limitations. So in this case, saying that you can't mark again for 5 seconds. So I get it. You're not on a perpetual mark like cooldown. Or perpetual marking for the enemies. It's hard to convey these things though visually and to make them feel kind of intuitive, and maybe that just comes with time. Wait a minute. Breaking shells. Let's try cluster rockets. Not sure what those blue things give me still. Oh, that's kind of cool. You know, I also get it, right? Like, a big thing that you're dealing with is you need to have some curve, right? Where the player feels stronger as they both get better skill-wise, but also as they're making more choices, right? But I think your core game loop is a little... Your core weaponry feels really underpowered. You know, like shooting the bullets, it's like pew, pew, pew. Everything goes pew, pew, pew in this game. Nothing goes yet, right? Like, I haven't checked it all out, but you want it to be like... Right, like it needs to like And then on top of that, since that's your welcome to the base layer of the game, then it gets even bigger, right? Like, so just, you know, that's my, you know, playing with toys on the floor impression of where I think we're at. Oh, these guys have the longer strings. Okay, what do these blue things do? I don't know. Maybe their score? I don't know. Nice, I used my exploding missile there. That felt really good. Like in terms of just blowing up that huge cluster, dudes. Okay, here we are with the I mean, dude. Wow. What's this thing? Oh, that was a big bomb. The BFG. Okay, so that had a big boom. Oh, look, that's the thing. I don't know why I didn't get it to go off last time. So even your small asteroids are taking multiple shots. My firepower, aside from the missiles, my basic rapid shot, my regular shot, I can't even keep pace with blowing my way through these asteroids. It's fine if the bigger chunks have a few more shots to take, but you probably want to come back and, like, if it's small and pebbly, it you know, like, that's popcorn. Just get rid of it as soon as, not as in when the bullet attacks it, or when the bullet collides with it, it should just die, right? Multiple shots on a tiny little thing, not fun. I like your little wind up the weaponry here, or the music track. Your laser lines that you've got going on here, it's, first of all, it's really hard to see the laser guidelines, and I think what they're doing is they're obviously indicating where they're going to shoot, and then I think that here, let's just take a look. Let's take a look. Let's go back to the instant replay, folks. All right, here we go. I'm just looking to see here when the smaller cannons do their thing. So they are rotating a little bit. Oh, weird. So another little thing that you've got here is you've got the cannons. I don't know if it's 3D space, but those barrels were pointing more towards the camera, which makes them look like they are like they're like these weird stubby cannons. I would lock them to where, like, you can see here they're pointing more forward now, more to the side. Okay, so come on, frames. All right, so the laser line appears right there. Hard to see against, you've got some alpha on it, but to see against, and it's fine to have transparency, but to see against the ship, because they're the same color. It's moving, it's moving, it's moving. Aha, okay, so, and then you do a blink. All right, so the blink is weird because it blinks on and off, so all of a sudden, like, I know you're trying to flash it. What I do is keep the base there and blink on top of it, and then bright, right? Like, it's too subtle. I can barely see, because that flashing means you have to be moving, because if you're not moving, you're going to take the shots, right? It's good that you have it in there. You just need to beef it up. And then it's a small thing, but I would put that laser guideline on both the barrels. You don't have to. It's up to you. All right. Let's get back into it. Oh, what's this thing? All right, how do these things work? Oh. Oh, I'm taking damage. Oh, I think I was exploding. I think I was out of control at that point. Boosh, dude, I wrecked. Ooh, look at that. Oh, damn it. I screwed up that. All right, so these chasing orbs, can I do anything about them? That's the question. I don't know. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, and you got this guy on top now? By the way, giant ship, I am a huge fan. You got your missiles here. Damn. Oh, boy. Yeah, you're look. I mean, the other thing, and look, I mean, I understand it. Visually, I can't tell you that these guys are much different, because also part of it is the size as well, are much different than your other regular ship enemies until they charge up and then zoom towards the player. It's cool. I like the enemy type. There's great creativity you got going on. It would be nice to be able to better read that these guys do that charge up attack. I think this is the first time I'm actually encountering them as part of the boss. One of the things I personally like to do in my own design is I like to introduce something new, a new mechanic to the player, new enemy, let the player experience that enemy a few times. If I usually do it in like rules of 3. And then once they've experienced that enemy and they've kind of locked in a little bit like how to deal with it, then I can move on to either, what I do is I do that, introduce a new enemy. And then as I go through the level, I then will go to, so I've got enemy A, learn enemy A, and then I go to enemy B. And then in the next section, I go enemy A plus enemy B remixed. So now you're kind of building up the abilities. And then I go to new enemy C, maybe. And I don't do enemy C in the midst of enemy A and B. I do enemy C as it's kind of its own, at least let's learn, because you don't have much time, right? And then I do a remix of that. So I'm kind of layering and building up my how I introduce and layer the mechanics to the players so they have a better chance to understand what's going on. And then from that familiarity, you can build new types of gameplay from that. All right. Where are we at? We probably should wrap this up here soon. All right, let me see. Can I beat this guy? Yeah. Also, a bit weird that this guy has collision, because it's like the enemy bits, but this part of the ship doesn't. And there's no real visual language to suggest why I'm colliding with some and not others. I would probably just turn collision off on this. You can still make the exhaust bits dangerous or whatever, but food for thought. Oh, I died. Aw. Let's see. Catapult. Effective damage dealt. All right. Friendly fire. How did I friendly fire damaged myself? Is that what I did? Because I don't have any friendlies around, right? Damage taken 900. Damage prevented 0. Damage absorbed by shield 434. Okay. Damage taken by minions. Okay. All right. One more. Let me see. Who else we haven't tried yet? Catapult. Electron cannon. I don't think we've done this. So this one's got energy rush. I think okay, so let me take a look here. Details. No, not there. Profile. Ah, okay. Yeah, okay, so that's the thing. I had to make sure I always select my profile. All right. All right. Let's see. Big projectile. Creates a static field. Energy rush. Take 50% less damage and becomes unstoppable for 3 seconds. Okay. I hope I can collide with something or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. But that means I take damage. I take damage for colliding. So I don't know. We'll see. Static blast. Create a big static field that lasts for 40 seconds. Did I just play this guy? Let's try it. If I play this guy, we'll just do it. We'll just back out. Maybe we can look at something else. Oh no. Okay. Oh, look, you got rotation on this guy. Boosh. Boosh. Big tanky action. Get out of here. I'm pushing ships around. Oh. Nice big ship shield there. So, So I'm pressing the A button, or the A button, I guess. And I don't know what it is. Okay, so what is it? Oh, wow, that's just a color shift and a thing. Okay. I didn't see that it was a color shift for the ability. I think that's a static stasis field thing or whatever it is. I don't know. I forgot what it's called already. So, oh, that probably is a nice little like. So maybe if at least for single player, or could be this, your pause screen. It would be nice if you just bring up those profiles again that show you what your abilities are, because I think it takes a little time to learn these things. Just, you know, like it's not just put it on the wish list. It's not super important. All right. So I. Wow. I bounce off the floor again. Whoa. Oh, there's my power up. Plus duration. Probably stasis field duration. Plus duration. All right. I don't. Oh, what's that? Why am I stuck? I'm stuck. I have no idea why I was stuck there. Oh boy, the rate of fire of this thing is. So again, I'm super weak right now, right? So big slow rate of fire, and maybe there's going to be modifications, I think, to improve it. Range, I think the range on a lot of the weapons feels, and I haven't played with all of them yet, but they feel a little short. Now granted, it might be able to extend the ranges on those, so that might be fine. I'm not sure why I got stuck in that last one. All right. Oh, took damage. I burned my shield there. All right. What's up, giant missile? Oh, it's a little stasis field there, maybe. Oh. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, okay, stasis field is around me. I gotta, okay, so I went into my own stasis field. All right. That's why I got stuck. Not the end of the world, but you know. So, and we talked about the meters here. These skills have such a long cooldown. I mean, this plays like, this sort of plays like an MMO. Like this is way too sluggish. And the skills don't have big enough payoff right now to warrant these long cooldowns. So definitely, I would love to see a version cut all the skill cooldowns by 80% and just see how it plays. You know, like you want it to be more of an action shooter and a shmup, and right now it's very plotting. Now there's You know, partially that could be like a more tactical shooter, like a tactical shmup. There's a few other things for that. But yeah, I mean, look, we're a year out, over a year, so. This ship is so beefy, I don't know how to dodge some of that. And we already talked about that attack. That attack, you know, you can already see me playing with it. So, all right, let's check the. Oh, I was gonna check the collision box. All right, instant field, electron bullet, static field has no delay and its duration is doubled. All right, that sounds awesome. Static explosion. Enemies inside static field have their armor reduced by 15. Allies have their armor increased. Yeah, but if allies go into the field, they get stuck. Interesting though. Shock field. Static blast creates a damaging area around Retarius that inflicts 50 damage a second, tripling the damage if inside the static field. That sounds interesting. That sounds like good utility. So again, I am loving the roguelike choices. Like, you already have more creative thinking than a lot of roguelike elements that have been added to shmups. This is good. This is a good base. Keep digging into the space, right? Because that's what's great about roguelikes, is having all of these cool skill abilities and being able to mix match them on your runs and what that looks like, right? I don't know if you're doing the roguelike side of things where you will unlock abilities over time through runs and those become part of the pool and how that looks like. But anyways, that's another story. Okay, so what do I want to try? Let's try this shock field. All right. Let's try this. Yeah, I don't even know that. I feel like the other ability that makes my ship turn purple is almost worthless. I mean, I guess I could use it to save myself a little bit, but I'm still taking damage, so I'm taking less damage. God, the rate of fire in this thing is atrocious. Oh, I got stuck in my own stasis field. Might be a bug. Now, having these guys stuck in stasis is pretty fun. I like that. It is. Boy. And you might have an ability for this, but it might turn out that with a very slow rate of fire like this, you might want to add piercing to the shot so they can pass through multiple enemies. Because right now, the core base of shooting, this is not good. This is if I picked up this game for the first time and this was how it played with this ship, with this ability and getting stuck in my own stasis field, I wouldn't put any more time in the game. I'd just move on. That's why we play test, right? Your opinions. Oh boy, yeah. Damage reduction. I don't know if I get things that come out of the... Here we go. Oh god. Alright. You know a little bit more how to deal. Oh, got stuck in my own stasis field. So far, least favorite ship in the game. And the core speed on this thing is also atrocious. Oh, here come the zippers. Zipper guys are cool. I mean, come on. Oh, they are killable. Nice. All right, all right. Oh boy. Oh boy, I'm in trouble. Oh boy. Come on, we got this. By the way, I am having some fun here. Oh crap, I'm stuck in the fucking weird collision. God. Oh God, I'm dead. So it looks like when the player dies and the ship's starting to explode, it has a vector, the direction that it seems to be going. You continue to go, and then you do the explosions. There's something that doesn't read very well in that. It makes me feel like I still have control. I'm not being able to read that I'm exploding at that point. Maybe it's the size of the explosions. Something that also you might want to consider doing is when the player dies. Now it's different in co-op, but at least in single player. So when the player is dying, you can do a quick quick so you do a very quick pause for a frame, right? And then you can do slow-mo, just a tiny bit of slow-mo and then bigger explosions. So, but also that helps reinforce where the damage or where the player got hit and that they're actually going into their death state. So. Oh, I got stuck in my stasis field. Oh God, I can barely get out of the range of these things. Every time I want to use a skill, like it's on cooldown. Oh, I'm in trouble. Or my super or whatever it is. Oh, I got douched. Oh, maybe I still have control of the ship. I don't know. Something funky in that space. All right. All right. I think I want to play the other ship, but look, that's plenty. We've been doing this for a little while now. Okay. Yeah, it's like 2 hours. This is more than I expected to do. And I don't, I think you said there's like 2 levels. I obviously didn't finish the boss there. There's a lot of other stuff going on. So. All right. There's something good here. I think again, you have a lot of development ahead of you, and this is very, very rough, right? And getting opinions and feedback, super important. You've got the bones, and I think you've got some meaningful choices. Controlling the ship doesn't feel super responsive. Like the analog stick controls are good, but it's just overall speed. I think right now where you start again and where you probably are. So I'd love to see how the game plays when I got hiccups. When you've got all these abilities and things like that, because that gives me a sense for where we're at. Now you're going to run into this problem where it's like Gradius in that when you're playing Gradius, it feels great when you have all your power-ups and your options and your laser and your missiles and you're really rocking your higher speeds. And then you just get plowed, bow, right? And now you've lost everything. And now you start and you're very weak, right? And while there's a huge risk reward to that, but it also means that once a player in that particular case with Gradius experiences that, it is so hard to regain to get back to where you're at that a lot of players just quit. Not everyone, but a lot of players do, right? And understanding where players quit is an important litmus test for like your core game loop, right? And the reason why I bring that up is I think your base abilities, like I can see there's interesting choices. The core of shooting and movement don't feel really great right now. Like it's too sluggish. There's the amount of shots you shoot per salvo are too low. The shot types are a little bit, I don't know if anyone has a long range shot yet or if you upgrade to that, but everything, I get why you've made a lot of the choices you've made and you're exploring, in space. I haven't played anything quite like this and I'm very excited to see how the game progresses, right? But if people people won't stick with your game if at the core it doesn't feel satisfying to move, shoot, survive, move, shoot, blow things up, right? Like that, like those 4 things are like your holy grail, and those have to feel really tight. So you need to bring that floor of where you're at up to whatever it feels like when you have all of these abilities kind of pop in and what this looks like, and really work on, I think, getting those things to feel good. I think we talked about it already, but scale wise, things are too small. Your enemies are too small. Like the big ship boss, the capital ship bosses are great. The enemies on the ground, those feel pretty good in terms of size. The player ship is too small. Your popcorn enemies are too small. The reading how many hit points something has is very difficult. Small things take a ton of shots, all small things. Like none of that feels good. You got to get out of that space. Like, you know, the rule of thumb is small things pop. They're called popcorn enemies, and they're there to give players a little break, to give you rewards for seeing the strings. Multiple strings of popcorn enemies that you can't effectively kill. Some of those are not even killable with certain ship types. Is just frustrating. And it gets overwhelming for things that should be simple. So you want to think about that with your design bits. Something else I would do, put in some cheat codes, because there was more of the game that I wanted to see. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see your secondary choices, right? So put in a cheat code that gives me, infinite lives, and that way I can at least, this is just for feedback, right? Because to expect people to come and play test your game when it's in a rough state and to be able to get through all the content, there's some people that might be able to do that, but I don't have the time for that. I might at some point, but it's just think about that in terms of when you put your builds out, and who you give like your tools to. So, some of your ship designs visually look okay. You've got kind of this pixel art style. I can't quite put a finger on it. But at least it feels cohesive, which is really like, it's better than a lot of people do. So I appreciate that. And we talked about your UI elements, look, there's a lot of stuff, just, it's going to take time. Right. But also like it's flimsy to read through and understand what we're looking at least for me, granted, old eyes. Otherwise, dude, I'd say keep going. Like this is clearly, you've got something here and you're working on it. Don't get complacent. Like you got to keep digging at this thing. You got to keep refining it. You got to keep working on your gameplay. I would love a debug mode where I can see, put it in a test room and just, like for instance, I'm playing Unicorn Overlord right now. Right. And I finally got to this point in the game where they have this thing's called Coliseum mode. Right. And all it is, like, when from a game development perspective, it looks like where they basically just battle tested the core battle loop. It was just the core battle loop of testing it, right? And that way you set up your units, and then you have different units that fight against each other. And this is where I feel like a lot of the designers spent time just core testing the loop. You need something like that in this game, so you can rapidly go through the choices and see how they feel, right? Like, you can call it a, I don't know, an enemy boss, like a boss rush room, and give it a prototype room, an upgrade room, a weapon room, whatever you want to call it. But think about how you can pull all this together in a way to be able to quickly iterate through these choices to see how things feel, because the more that you have to play through the game, and maybe you want some debug feature that allows you just to do the upgrades, but the longer you have to play through the game, to be able to test these choices, these interesting choices about how the player craft feel when they've had all these cool upgrades, it means the last half of that, the longer you go, the longer it's going to take to be able to test and tune that stuff. And right now you want to find out the stuff that feels really good, and you need some kind of medium for yourself and for, more qualified testers or whoever you want to give it to be able to do that as well. So think about that. Again, I don't know, there's questions. I don't know if the roguelike elements, if you're actually unlocking abilities and those are going into your pool of choices in that typical sense. I don't know if it's roguelite in that this is always just a new set of things that are particular to your player craft. But look, these are things you can answer here. But look, dude, compared to where you were at a couple months ago with the idea and that you're at a prototype with this, yes. I think you can get there. I think there's some really interesting things. I think this game could sing definitely when it comes to like a like co-op. I haven't seen anything like this, and I have an interest in playing it. So not a traditional shmup in this case. Definitely doesn't feel good right now in the core loop with a lot of the shooting and movement and stuff like that. But look, that takes time, right? Also, if you haven't, let me flip this back over. So one second. So there's a couple things you should probably check out. One is, okay, let's see. You know, in terms of visuals, you need to take a look at what the NG Dev guys did with Unveil. The projectiles are so crisp, and the overall visual flavor, like a lot of your visuals for the enemies and the environments, they're probably still very prototype, but they're kind of mushy, right? So come take a look at what these guys do. That's amazing for projectiles. And then I haven't played a ton yet. If you haven't, and I don't know how deep into the bullet hell side of this you're going to go, but you need to play some Angel at Dusk. Play this game. They also have a mechanic where you can bump into everything, and they really take advantage of that. The tutorialness is very, very good about like trying to help players understand the core mechanics. Play through the tutorial. It's fantastic. It'll help give you an extra layer. There's something else. Here we go. So Ember Knights, I played this game just a few hours right now. I played it with the buds though, but this is a co-op roguelite. It's basically Zelda combat, old school Zelda combat, not 3D. More of a top down. And then they have a really nice kind of progression of roguelike elements and the way the world unlocks and the way you unlock things. Play this game because they do a good job. One of the things I love about roguelikes is that as you get better at the game, you unlock more things, and you're making good choices to decide what to unlock and put into your common pool and how to unlock new abilities and things like that. So take a look at that. Also, like this might be a nice thing to take inspiration from in terms of unlocking new ship types and what that might look like. And then I think one of the, so also, so in terms of core game loops, in terms of a run feeding back into that roguelike element and giving you the ability to upgrade and become stronger and make choices, these guys do a fantastic job. So this is more of a platformer, obviously, not obviously, but it's more of a platformer. But their core loop is fantastic. It was good in Rogue Legacy 1. It's even better in Rogue Legacy 2. And I would take a look at what these guys are doing too, just for homework, and play it. Like, you got to put time in, right? So, and then one of the things they do also really, really well is once you play through, like, I'm a big fan of, so one of the ways I like to go about game design is I like to build the most upgraded, beefy, craziest, like you are crazy powerful with all your skills, all your abilities, all your upgrades, right? For each of the character types. And by the way, the character types they put in this game, fucking amazing. Because they change the way you play, which I see you're doing in your game too. Very, very good. So, what I like to do is I like to start from the like, wow, this all feels great. Like it's real, like it's all on all cylinders. You feel powerful, you feel good. The game is just flowing at the highest level, right? Because you're maximum upgraded and all that good stuff, right? The different gameplay styles are there. And then once you have that, part of creating the ability to get there is the journey. So now you start taking things away. Your roguelike choices are a concept of that, right? I can already see you doing that. And then you strip it down to where it still feels good. Like you should still have base level controls that feel good. Like you should still you should still feel capable enough to like just, to defeat enemies, and you should still have skill, right? But then because you know how it's feeling at that highest level, the journey to get to that highest level becomes even more satisfying, as opposed to trying to like build the lowest layer and then the next layer and then the next layer. I like to do it kind of in reverse. So, and this game, they do a really good job kind of demonstrating that, but you only really get a sense for that after you've beaten the first game, the first playthrough. And then you do the New Game Plus. They do such an amazing job. Like New Game Plus, they give you all of these dials to basically customize how strong and oppressive the world is, how much harder it becomes, but they tell you what it is that you're choosing and all the rewards. That kind of brings back to the last thing, right? So with your difficulty selections, I've beaten and played all of the Souls games, Sekiro, Bloodborne. I like hard games. Obviously, shmups are very hard games. I love it when difficulty modes give me more rewards. If I play on hard, whatever your currency is, whatever the thing that unlocks, give me something more, not just for the sake of it. Give me the ability, what if I'm progressing in the game, if I'm unlocking more elements, whatever it is, I just want to know that my efforts for doing it on hard are going to give me equally more impressive rewards. Because if it's just for the sake of going, well, I like the game harder because I like hard games, it's hard to get a sense for where that's at. A little more incentive goes a long way. All right, dude, again, keep going. Drop more builds, keep iterating. I'm glad to see you distributing on Steam, and I'll drop a link to the Steam page here so folks can find it and wishlist it. I think you've got something really good going on here, and it's been a lot of fun to playtest this very early build. I'd probably say this is probably like a pre-alpha. Yeah, food for thought. And before we start writing giant walls of text to each other, if you got a few questions, sure, but let me know and we can just jump on a Discord call and like talk about things and rap about things if you want, if you have questions like that, because writing things down takes a tremendous amount of time and effort. We all only have so much time. All right. If anyone has made it to the end of this crazy rambling video, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the journey. Again, thank you to the wonderful developer for reaching out and trying to dream up a new thing. It's hard because when you're trying to do something that you haven't quite seen done, there's reasons for it. Sometimes it just doesn't work, and we all have to figure that out. Sometimes it just hasn't been done because it's too hard. Sometimes people haven't thought about it. Sometimes people say that's just always the way it's ever been, and things only get better if we continue to work at them and try to, solve problems and iterate through them. And a big part of this channel and our own journey and the subreddit, Shmup Dev subreddit is dedicated to us all kind of trying to improve our craft and figuring out how to get there together, because you can't do it in isolation. You can only do like the best you can, but until you come face to face with players, and a lot of players are going to say, I want it only to do these things because that's the way I know what shmups are. And these are things I like about shmups. And that can be useful, but it's not as useful when you're trying to pioneer new concepts. So I think you're on the right track. And for everyone that's been here, thank you so much for being part of this journey. And we'll see you all next time.